The Philadelphia Flyers return to practice today with the trade deadline looming. On Friday, Ivan Fedotov coming off of his breakout performance at the NHL level, and the Flyers practice a little 3-on-3 today in Voorhees. I'm Charlie O'Connor of the PHLY Sports, and these are your Flyers post-practice notes. So the Flyers are back from their brief two-game road trip in Pittsburgh and Winnipeg, and the talk is primarily on the trade deadline, which will be happening this Friday afternoon. Scott Laughton's name is the big name that is out there available in trade rumors. He did practice today. That Last Supper was not truly a Last Supper for Scott Laughton. He is still on the Philadelphia Flyers and skating with the team, and there's no guarantee he's going to be traded. However, it's certainly a possibility. That said, the price for Laughton remains high from everything I've heard. The Flyers want at least a first-round pick or an equivalent player, young player, prospect type equivalent value to a first-round pick. Whether he stays or goes really just comes down to whether another team is willing to pay up for Scott Laughton. They're not going to give him away, but if a team is willing to meet their price, I think they might do it. The other big name out there from the Flyers' perspective, defenseman Rasmus Ristolainen. Ristolainen also practiced today, and we spoke with him after practice about the trade deadline, about how much it's weighing on his mind, and he said really hasn't bothered his mind too much about it. He said there's nothing he can really control about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not the first time, and it's one of those things I can't really control, so I don't really bother my mind with it. I just come in every day and work hard, you know.
And that's Rasmus Ristolainen in a nutshell. He's not going to let himself be distracted by anything. He's all about just playing hockey, playing it to the best of his ability. He's obviously simplified his game over the last couple of years, turned into one of the Flyers' most improved players, as John Tortorella re-emphasized today. And Tortorella, when asked about Ristolainen today after practice, he said that one of the things he most admires about Ristolainen is that he just plays. It's the fact that things like the trade deadline, things like trade rumors, they just don't seem to affect him. He said, John Tortorella, said that he went to Ristolainen a few weeks ago to let him know that if he had any questions about the deadline, any concerns, just come to him and ask him. And Tort said that Risto basically told him, yeah, I don't pay attention to any of that. And Tortorella loves that part of Rasmus Ristolainen's attitude.
When the deadline comes, I think I owe it to the players, and I meet with the team and tell them, you have any questions, you ask me. I think we owe the players that respect, that we ask them to do all this stuff, and you're giving them all year long about standard and all the stuff we talk about. When it comes down to it, they're thinking, well, maybe the family might have to be moved and all the rumors going on. I want them to be able to come to me and ask a question. Risto, I said, this was a while back when you guys were writing about it, right? And I said, anything for me? He says, I don't want it. I just want to play. And that's the way he plays. You know, I don't think Risto gets enough respect out here. He just plays. There's not a lot of talk, and he just plays. And as I said, I think he's our most improved player for first 3 years of my coaching.
Also practicing today for the Flyers, Ivan Fedotov, the hero of Saturday night's big win over the league-leading Winnipeg Jets. Fedotov made 29 saves on 30 shots to lead the Flyers to a win, was perfect in the shootout as well. And again, we're talking about one of the best teams in the NHL that Fedotov shut down. So does that strong start mean that Fedotov might get a little bit bigger slice of the pie in terms of starts the rest of the way? Well, according to John Tortorella, not necessarily the case. He confirmed today that despite Fedotov's strong start on Saturday, Sam Ersson remains his number one and expect Ersson still to get the lion's share of the starts the rest of the way. That said, Fedotov's strong play had to have increased the confidence level of the coaching staff in Fedotov. Obviously, he's had something of an up and down season. Great game on Saturday. They did say, John Tortorella mentioned, that he felt like Ersson was just a little bit maybe tired, maybe fading a little bit in that game against Pittsburgh, and that's what led to him making the decision with Kim Dillabaugh, the goalie coach, to give Ivan Fedotov that start on Saturday. It does show that if Ersson looks like he's fading later in the season, next week, the following week, later in March, early in April, they're not going to hesitate to give Fedotov the start, and it's easier to do so, especially after they watch Fedotov play as well as he did against a quality opponent like Winnipeg. Finally, the Flyers closed out practicing the 3-on-3 portion of the game. Now, the Flyers in their last two games have appeared in 3-on-3 play. Both games against Pittsburgh and Winnipeg went to overtime. They lost the game against the Penguins. They held serve in overtime against Winnipeg and won the game in a shootout, but there certainly were some scary moments, some major quality chances by Winnipeg, and John Tortorella apparently just wanted to try to clean that up a little bit heading into the stretch run. Tort said after practice today, obviously he's going to lean on the offensive guys in overtime, and he loves 3-on-3. He actually thinks that the 3-on-3 overtime should just continue to go in perpetuity, that shootout shouldn't be a thing, and the game should just keep on going 3-on-3 until someone scores.
3-on-3, see, I love it. I do. We should play until the game's over, not go to the shootout. I think it gives the offensive guys a chance to be there with open ice, because there's just, especially this time of year, there's not a lot of room on the ice. So to open it up that way, I love that. How the other coaches, I have no idea. But I know with my team, because I think sometimes when you're playing against really good teams like Winnipeg, they're deeper. Their roster's deeper. So we have to defend. You have to have some patience with it too. And that's what I'm trying to teach our team is we have some guys that can score some goals, but let's not on 50-50s be hoping you get a pass out here and then it's a 2-on-1 in the back of our net. I still think there needs to be some patience within the 3-on-3.
So he's not a hater of the 3-on-3, but he does believe that his team right now needs to maybe change the balance of their style of play just a bit. He feels like too many guys are, cheating, cherry picking for offense and not having quite enough of a focus to defense. He feels like if they adjust that balance a little bit, they might get more offensive opportunities later in overtime because they don't allow a goal as a result of giving up 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s because one guy isn't even a factor in the play because he's hoping for that stretch pass to send them on a breakaway. We'll see if it has any effect, because I highly doubt that will be the last 3-on-3 game the Philadelphia Flyers, who have played in 18 overtime games so far this season, a league high. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.